Okay, good day everybody. Mike here. This is just some of my thoughts on fire starting methods for survival kits. Or other reasons, whatever reason you might want to have a fire. We take fire making for granted. And it's understandable because it's not normally an issue. But when you're lost in the woods or middle of the desert at night or something like that, you're gonna want to know how to make a fire. So now we're not talking about friction fire or sparking two rocks together. Those are all great, interesting skills as well, but we're talking about just getting the job done. So number one, my thoughts on this is Bic lighters. Not other disposable lighters, Bic brand lighters. These things can go through a washing machine, and all you got to do is let them dry out for a few minutes and they continue to work. And they've got small ones if you want to make a real small kit, something just to put in your jacket pocket or something, and the regular size one as well. And then recently I found these. It's unfortunate that they didn't give them that, when you pick up a Bic lighter, you got a quality disposable lighter in your hand because they work. Now, I generally always remove the child safety mechanism from them because when your hands are cold or wet, this can be hard to strike, whereas a regular one just keeps going. Now, okay, they came out with this one called the Bic Reach, and they cost maybe an extra $1 or something like that. But it gives you that extra little reach that you need, to get into your tinder. And these are great for candles or, barbecues, any like a gas stove you got to get close to that you don't want to get your fingers, right up on. So these are kind of what I recommend for like a survival kit right now, called the Bic Reach. Aside from regular standard Bics, they're great. Okay, and then let's talk about the next one, matches. I don't know if they even make book matches like this anymore. These are a real poor choice. First of all, they're hard to keep lit. They tend to deteriorate, if they're in a pocket or something. So you can see the sulfur is kind of wearing off a bit, and eventually they become useless. They're better than nothing, but these are not what I recommend. And then we go to the camping section of the hardware store, and we find these Kugel's wind and waterproof matches. And we used to call these lifeboat matches when I was a kid, because they were in all the survival kits on the lifeboats, of course. The drawback with these is that they're not strike anywhere. You have to use the striker that comes on the box. And the reason for that is it's a chemical reaction. You need the chemical that's in the striker and the chemical that's on the match to react with the friction in order to light. However, these are a good choice. For a long-term kit, they're not going to deteriorate very easily. This is an old British, probably Canadian military issue at the time though. British made Payne's Wessex windproof matches for use in lifeboats and life rafts. And we'll just open this up, see what I got in here. Okay, looks like there's some kind of an instruction, well, safety thing, keep away from kids or something like that. No, keep this between the matches and the striker boards. Keep contents sealed until required for use. Anyway, we'll pull this out, and that's what they look like. Sort of like the Kuglins ones. Long covered sulfur on them with a good easy striking tip. These were called lifeboat matches. You probably can't buy these anymore. I probably had these since I was, man, I bet you I had these since I was 14 or 13 or 12 years old or something like that. Okay, let's get these out of the way. We'll move along a bit. We got some more matches here. Now these are regular strike anywhere wooden matches that most of us older guys will remember. Young people might not have seen these though. And there we go. Striking on some soft wood is kind of difficult, but you can scratch them on your belt buckle or your jacket zipper or whatever you'd like. Now, I just threw them in an old pill bottle, nice and watertight. They used to come in boxes like this. Redbird Strike Anywhere matches. Now, if you find a source for Strike Anywhere matches, buy them, because they're very, very difficult to find anymore. Apparently, after the little bit of research that I did, because a lot of pipe smokers used to like these, because you could throw a few of them inside the, inside your tobacco pouch and just pull a match out when you needed one. However, when I did a bit of research with the pipe smoking gangs, apparently it's because of the dangerous goods regulations that these have become cost prohibitive to ship. So they don't make them anymore. A lot of places have just discontinued them. Now this is a little match container. Waterproof, of course, with an O-ring. Piece of cotton. Another piece of cotton. Another piece of cotton. And I filled it with some good lifeboat type matches. I probably had this since I was a teenager as well. And these things are reflective tape that I put on them. So if you're cleaning up your camp in the dark, you can quickly check with a flashlight and see if you've got anything laying around. So that's matches. We'll move on to cheap dollar store magnifying glasses. And they work. You know what? They work real well, but only of course when it's sunny out. But the nice thing is it's not consumable. It's not going to, burn up like matches or run out of fuel like a lighter. So there's a couple cheap ones from the dollar store. Here's another multi-lens one. I probably got this from a coin shop or a stamp shop or something like that. If you have to, you can probably break this container and split it up and give each person their own magnifying glass. And the knife is just on there because, well, you need a knife to make a fire as well. So we got that. I mean, you can carry, a really nice magnifying glass. This is metal though, but man, the thing weighs a half a pound. So, that's out. Here's some more dollar store magnifying glasses. Actually, this might have come from the coin shop. This feels glass. These feel plastic. These are really cheap and they work great. And you can really get a good, angle on it in order to get your stuff heated up. So magnifying glasses. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, this is a special magnifying glass. You can't really buy these. You could probably buy one this size, but it'll cost a lot of money. This came out of an old rear projection type TV that we used to have back in the day. And I just tested this outside. It's got a focal point that's, you know, maybe 15, 16 inches, which is great because you can get right down into where your tinder is and still have the rest of your stuff piled up. It's heavy though, it's glass. It's definitely for a vehicle kit or a boat or something like that. And just as a crazy side note, I have seen an article written about I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't found any real proof or not, but I have seen an article where apparently the Eskimos were able to fashion a you know, a large magnifying glass from frozen water. That would take a lot of work. I don't think I'm going to be trying that anytime soon, but it's something to kick around. Now, we'll go through some other stuff. These are just barbecue fire starters. And, you know, anything to give you an extra edge on getting your fire made is worth it. You know, to have ahead of time. I mean, you can go looking for tinder, but man, have it with you. Have a bit, you know, have enough to keep yourself alive, you know. So there's some cheap tinder or starting material, whatever you want to call it. You might want to throw a piece of heavy-duty folded tin foil to act as a little bit of a windbreak, because wind can really make or break whether or not you can get a fire going or not. And then on the subject of tinder, these are little cedar wedges that I think came from Home Depot. There's probably $2 worth here, and I've pre-cut some up into little easily ignitable sticks, and then you can split these with your knife. On that topic, you got to have some kind of knife for, you know, making fires and maintaining your fire. So just have some kind of a decent knife. It doesn't have to be a big belt knife. It can be a little pocket knife or something, but you need some kind of knife. Anyway, this is just tinder. Now, I wouldn't carry all this in a survival kit. I would just have a few pieces, enough to build like one fire or something. This is some of the cedar material that I've already split, and you can build your little tripod base or whatever style of way do you want to make your fire. Okay, more Strike Anywhere matches, and there's some green tipped ones in a different one. In the old days, when we had our cameras, we would get our film, you know, put in one of these, when you bought film, actually, it came in one of these little waterproof containers, and they make great for tinder. Okay, before I forget, this is just an old peanut butter jar. I do keep my fire starting kit, whatever I want to bring, in one of these jars in my pack. They weigh nothing. They're completely waterproof. You can tie a rope around it, you know, and secure it to something if you don't want it to go missing when you're canoeing or something like that. And it makes a great water container as well if you need one. So while I've got the stuff handy here, these are fireplace matches or wood stove matches. And they're great for reaching deep into a fireplace or a wood stove to get your tinder already going. But the nice thing about them is that the whole match is beautifully good burning tinder. And you know, you can light one of these, get way in. These are currently made, and they have to be struck, you know, on the striker that comes with the box. So it's more than likely that that would be for a vehicle only as well. Now these piezoelectric jet lighters, they're not a good choice. They tend to work real well for a short period of time and then they quit and that's it. This is the only one I've ever owned out of 20 that seems to work and continue to work, but I would not recommend, you know, betting the farm on having one of these. But in the wind, this will be quite helpful. It's, you know, still pretty heavy for what the size it is, but anyway, that's an idea. Okay, more onto these little containers. Now pill bottles will work also. Let's see what we got in some of these things. Okay, dryer lint. And I don't have one here to show you, but a little half quart or pint or whatever you want to call it, carton like for milk. You just fill that thing up with dryer lint and take it with you camping, and it's a great source of getting your campfire going. So dryer lint. Now I couldn't find my pencil sharpener, but you can get these manual pencil sharpeners that have a jar attached to the bottom to catch the shavings. And the nice thing about that is you can take any kind of small stick and you can carve it up into real thin, easily ignitable shavings. So pencil shavings. More dryer lint. I'll save these two for last. These ones, this looks dry. This is just cotton balls. And these two are the same thing, except they're cotton balls that have been soaked with Vaseline. And once you get these burning, they don't blow out in the wind as easily, and they ignite pretty easily as well. I do recommend Vaseline soaked cotton balls for sure. And then this one, this is pre-shaved magnesium. Magnesium is one of the absolute best, most reliable ways to get a good, hot fire going fast. And these little magnesium bars that come with the ferro rod striker on the back of them, these are really good value. Even if the ferro rod falls out or goes missing, the magnesium on its own, at least if you can get a match to it or something like that. You can see this one's been used quite a bit. Now we're getting down near the end here. Kind of a more fun one is ferro rod strikers with strikers. So we've got a small little Fire Steel brand ferro rod, easy to hold, comes with a little striker. These work great and they're kind of fun too. Kids like them. You can get one of these cheap ones for the kids when you're teaching them how to build a fire. Now this is my primary ferro rod and striker, and this is called a Strike Fire, and I think this one was originally made and marketed by Gerber, but I don't remember. Now I have this magnesium bar attached with a lanyard because they go real well together. Get yourself some magnesium down there by your tinder and go at it with the ferro striker. Now this is a real robust, you know, very difficult to break this, and striker included, and you can keep some small tinder inside And of course, I have the same thing, reflective tape on the outside, so you can find it with a flashlight. And this little lanyard that came with it is just to keep it all held together. So that's the strike fire. Now, in addition to the strike fire, this is an old tool I used to use when I worked on aircraft, and it's a Vargus, V-A-R-G-U-S. And it's a deburring tool for sheet metal. Like when you cut out a thin piece of aluminum, 20 thou or 30, maybe 40 thou thick, those will have razor sharp edges on them that you have to get rid of. And they come with a variety of attachments. And you just pick the attachment that you like. It fits right inside. Or it should. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's locked in. And it rotates. So when you're deburring your piece of sheet metal, it'll rotate to exactly the right angle. You can go forward or backwards with it. And this, if you pull this down, will allow you to extend it, which I've never really needed to use it that way. But this is really great for cutting really fine tinder or making feather sticks. So you get these little shavings. It doesn't take more than a few seconds to shave up a stick into really nice burnable feather sticks. And then you can put the bits back inside, or that's where I keep them, so it's a little more compact. Now, there's other methods for making a fire too, like fire pistons, and then there's binary compounds where you mix two different chemicals together and they'll just automatically ignite. I don't have them handy right now. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a look at some ideas and hear some of my thoughts on fire starting methods for survival kits or hunting or camping, or even for the backyard, I guess, for starting the fire pit, stuff like that. Grab yourself some Strike Anywhere matches if you get a chance. They're not going to be available for much longer, if they even are still. Have a great day, everybody. Mike out.